All right, good morning, guys. Jumping right into it, we're doing a two-tone interior swap. So I'm gonna say I'm sorry I started without you guys. The mic wasn't on, so we're just kind of starting over here. Right, so tools you'll need gloves. No glove, no love. I'd have your standard set of tools. The only thing you really need, your 8 to 19 millimeter. The only thing you really need them for are the seats and the steering wheel. Everything else is like a push pin or a Phillips. Given the complexity of this car and how many parts there are, it's really crazy to think that the majority are Phillips. A trim removal tool will be really, really helpful. I highly recommend getting one of those. Plastic ones are even better instead of metal, so you don't scratch things. And for tools, that's really it. You don't even need to wear a dirty shirt because you're not really going to get that dirty. So we're going to hop into it. This first step is really easy. All you really want to do is with your seat, don't unplug the battery yet, but scoot the seat all the way backward if you're electric. Undo the front seats, there's 16 millimeters in each corner. Bring it all the way forward, undo the back, they're also 16 millimeter. Very easy, do that on both, do not unhook the seats. Then you're gonna come to your trunk area. There's these little plastic rivets that BMW loves to use, we hate them. You're gonna lift this up. Just undo the negative terminal with a 10 mil, lift it up, move it to the side, and put the cover back on so you don't accidentally reconnect the connector, because that's worst case scenario. So what you really need is a black carpet and a black dash. I went to the junkyard, I got both of these I got all three carpets for, what'd I get everything for? Like $80 for all three parts. The rear carpet, the front carpet, and the front dash. All you need to know is that the front carpet and the front dash are the same on coupes and sedans, so those are a dime a dozen. The rear carpet, on the other hand, is not the same scenario. This you have to get from a coupe. Aside from that, we're gonna paint everything else. I'll talk about the supplies in a separate video for that. But we're gonna go over removing the seats, which we're halfway through, removing all the trim, the steering wheel, everything to get this whole dash out. That's including the center console, maybe these rear pieces. No, we'll talk about that later when we get to the dyeing stage. So you're gonna have to remove the back seats to get the rear carpet. It's really easy. You just stick your hand under the carpet. There's the clip right there. So all you do is you just go like clip, and it'll unhook itself, and then you kind of wiggle it left and right over the entire length of the car to get it out. The back seats are even easier. You fold them all the way down, and then in the middle you'll see like a little nut. It's a Torx. It's a T40, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put a correction right here. And then then you slide them towards the inside of the car and they pull right out. It's all super simple. So what we're just gonna talk about is how incredibly simple it is to take apart this vehicle. One thing I'm not doing that I highly recommend you do is you get a bunch of little bags and a Sharpie and write down for where each screw goes. Because that'll be really helpful. You're gonna have a lot of those. So anyway, we're gonna get to it. Now that we've waited a few minutes for the whole battery to discharge, it's safe to disconnect the seats. But you'll see like a little yellow box under here. All you do is there's a tab facing the inside of the car on the passenger side. You pull that towards the cabin, and then you pull straight out. And that's it. Then these seats come all the way in. Okay, they're heavy. I'm gonna skip that because I'm weak. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna remove this piece so we don't scratch it getting the seats out. It's very simple. You just stick your pry tool underneath, and as horrible as this looks, I've done this 3 times, I've never broken it. And just kind of go all the way down. You'll hear those clips disengage, go to the front. So note to self, they are stubborn, but you can apply a lot of force. I would definitely use a plastic piece like this to ensure you don't break anything. So I broke one clip, but overall pretty happy. Now that I don't have a piece to scratch, this seat will come out. No problem. You want to get the seats out first because then you have more room to do everything else. Alright you guys, so now we're going to talk about center console removal. First I would secure all your belongings. I didn't choose the rich life, the rich life chose me. No? Alright, so these are very simple. So I would just pull up on the rear tray, and then the front should also disconnect. If not, same deal, you just pull up. With this, it's just clip-ins. So If you're in an automatic, you'll want to put your key in ignition and shift in neutral, just so you can lift this up. So to remove the center console, you actually have to remove this piece. It's just 2 Phillips screws. And then to lift this out, it's forward and back. To get the window buttons off, there's 2 clips in the back. Push them in and pull down. Bam, super easy. You can go diagonal and then the piece comes out. 2 more Phillips screws on the outsides. They're a bit harder because they're screwing into plastic. Again, if you have plastic bags, this would be a great time to label things. If you're like me, you're gonna really pray you remember where all, 2, 4, 6, 8, like 16 of these screws go. Okay, so now we have to go to the back. You push this all the way back, and then push even more. And then this whole tray just pops right out. You've probably done that by accident if you've owned your car a while. And then, oh my God, no way, more Phillips? Yes, I know, it's true, more Phillips. Yeah, they may clip out in your face, so make sure they don't. And then you have a little light clip on the right-hand side that lights up the area, so just pull down on that. There's no clip for it. So you're gonna undo 2 more. These look interchangeable with the ones that pulled off the shifter trim. And honestly, I'm wearing these gloves and they're just making me hot. You really don't need gloves for this. This is not a dirty job unless your interior is filthy. This little piece right here is a trim piece. You're gonna wanna remove that first. And then this piece will come out real, I wouldn't say easy, but easier than having that trim piece in. And so again, just guide the little white wire out of your way. Just be very careful. All this stuff is 15 years old, it's brittle. It hates you already because you own it. And there you go. So then you have your little hazard buttons and your lock button. And again, that's just to pull out. There's no clips. And your whole center console is out. All right, you guys, keep your Phillips in your hand because we're about to get real personal with them. So again, I'm gonna put my key in ignition, shift all the way to drive. If you're in a manual, it's easier. You got 2 screws at the bottom of your sunglasses that will now be revealed. Now to get this whole center thing out, you're gonna probably wanna pull on the back of the screen, on the back of the folder, and just really quick tug. And now this whole thing comes out. And the reason you got to do that is because it'll reveal to you 2 more screws on the top. We got 1 more on the other side. And voila, this whole thing comes right out, no problemo, except for the traction control button. And if you have heating buttons, they're all here. Now these are clips, so just push on the top and pull back. And then again, with the bottom one, it's just to pull out. That's the light for the bottom cigarette section. And the whole thing comes out immediately. So let's take out the radio. I know you guys, you wouldn't believe it, but more Phillips. And then this whole thing comes right out. So then you'll be greeted with a little plug. So get your pry tool. There's a little tab at the top. Just kind of push up on it. And there you go, the whole thing came out. I see the reason I don't get reception is because that antenna came all the way out very easily. And you're gonna wanna push those wires out of your way. Now your temperature controls, you just push in the back very gently. Bam, comes right out. And there's a number of plugs. You don't really have to remember where they go in, but if you care, moving passenger driver goes small white, small black, clipped white, and then black with black cables. And that pulls up like this. If you're holding the radio like this, it goes up like that. On the LCM side, you can't see it, but I'll include a video from another clip I have. You just get your pry tool underneath the trim. There's 1 Phillips, and then to get the LCM out, there's 2 little tabs on the left and right. On the left side of the LCM, and then just work it under on the right side. Grab it on both sides, and it should pull right out. There's a little white tab, and then there's a black thing in front of it. Push the black thing down and pull the white tab towards you, and then it should unplug. So then pull the LCM up and sideways. Bam, comes right out. So on the bottom of your steering wheel console, there's 2 little dots. They're a little hard to see, but they're the only indented parts, and then you'll see like this little and then this whole sleeve should come down. Yep. All right, so this is the hardest part, one of the hardest parts. Lock your steering wheel. There's these little holes on the side. It's totally blind, but what you're gonna wanna do is stick your screwdriver in there, feel around until you feel like a springy thing, and then pull out on your airbag. All right, you guys, so they're kind of at a downward angle. Yeah. So that's the trick. They're a little bit down. I would say it's about 10 degrees from flat. So then to disconnect your airbag, there's these little tabs. You just pull up on them. Okay. Once you lift those tabs up, the connectors just pull right out. Very simple. So to those of you who have seen my steering wheel swap video, you know that this is a 16 mil in the center. And you just got to break it with a breaker bar if you've never done it, or maybe just a regular if you're strong. And then just unscrew it from there. And the bolt comes out. Now before you continue, there's some wires at the top. And then the middle one, you just pull that little tab at the top middle, pull it down and pull out. And then on the right, you just pull out. And if you have one on the left, you just pull out. And then this whole steering wheel, get this, pulls right out. And then if you're a wise man, you'll put the bolt back where you found it. Now to get this piece off, it should really just all be clipping. So if you just massage it up, it should eventually. I'm just grabbing my trim piece tool, and I got it out without breaking it. Alright you guys, so now we have the 4 Torx bit screws to get off your cruise control and windshield wipers. And I'm trying to see what size they are. I believe they are this size. Yeah, so it's a T25. Obviously very simple. Short extension may help, but these are very long, so they kind of, yeah, no problem. Alright you guys, so this comes right out just like that. Now there's a few plugs behind them, obviously. They got little tabs on the outside, so just push only the outside one. Oh, there is an inner one. So push those both in on both sides. And then there's one on the bottom. Again, push both on the exterior sides out. Push out. And now your steering doohickey majigs came out. In other news, now we have good access to the cluster. And I believe that is this size. Yeah guys, so these top ones are T15s. Just go in there and loosen those suckers up. Can even do it by hand. So those came out. Just remember where you put those. This cluster comes out, you can lift down and out, and that's going to be easiest. So I'm just going to try to move that to the most compact position. Now I know it's hard for many of you to believe, but these have plugs too. There's 2 of them. The one on the left, there's a little black bridge, so to say. There's going to be a tab facing towards you directly in front of it, like literally right in front of it. So just push down on that and push the black tab towards you, and the whole plug comes out. Then on this other side, it's the same deal. There's a little black tab in front of the white bridge. Just push that down, push the white tab towards you, lift up. Very, very easy. We're going to take this out now. Back to trusty Phillips. Should lift right out. Can't you tell how simple this is? Can't you tell how easy this is? Piece of cake, guys. Alright, you guys, so now we're going to do the same to the passenger side. Now the passenger side is more loved for whatever reason, so there's actually 2 clips here. I would say pull up and out is the easiest way to get these out. Still a little tucked in on the right, there we go. That's the most dangerous part, because this is one of the most powerful airbags in your car. So please, again, if you haven't already disconnected your battery, you're probably already dead. But if you're still with us and your battery is still connected, please disconnect that now. Unless you enjoy injuries and you don't have Kaiser, because if you have Kaiser, forget it, you're not coming back. Oh, you have Kaiser, don't you? Do you have?
You know I have Kaiser.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, sorry. So these are 10 mils. Very easy. Sorry, I have Drake in the background. Oh god, these vents are disgusting. This car must have lived without an air filter for some time back in the day. Anyway, you get those 10s unhooked. This whole thing does not come directly out. But you can lift it up out of the side just enough to see more bolts. And so you get your 13. Get your Harbor Freight wrench, and you'll see them where you just unhooked a little bit further behind. There's some 13s. Yeah, just like that. Oh yeah. You guys like that? I bet you do. Benny, I'm talking dirty to my viewers.
Yes.
Do you think I'll get more subscribers that way? Shit, I don't have boobs though. I think I'm at a disadvantage. Yeah, can we do that? Can we do that really quick for the views? Do it. Since Vine's dead, do it for the views.
What was it? What was the Vine one?
Do it for the Vine.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so pull out. Ooh, that's a nice bomb. Very heavy bomb. Oh, yeah, don't drop the bomb. Not recommended. So the plug's all the way down here, guys. There's a little clip on the top being the side that faces out towards the windshield. Push that in, and this whole thing lifts right out. Not even a problem. Super easy, actually.